Alrighty, welcome to the Sports Rewind Digital Podcast, your weekly sporting news and sports tidbits. Tonight, I'm joined by Davo and BJ once again. We have a guest in the green room now. This week, the fellas didn't leave our guests with chicken burgers and beers. This time, they've left him a salad and some water and just some ice water because he's an athlete. And so we'll get our guest on in a second. But fellas, first of all, how was the weekend? Dave, I'll start with you. You're an absolute pitching genius. Tell us your weekend, mate.
Pretty easy against Belmont, mate. It was actually nice to beat them because last time I played them was a loss in a grand final. So it was good throwing against young kids who just sort of like the ball coming on them. So you don't put the ball coming on to them. So, no, it was nice to see you back out in the field, mate, limping around there, struggling to go from first to home. That's why you got to slow down, mate. You become the all-station trainer central. Then you're not expected to do that.
That's right.
So,
that's right. No, I've learned my lesson.
It was nice to see everyone out in the field on Saturday. So a couple of good wins. So a good weekend.
Was a good weekend. How about you, Randall?
Yeah, same, mate. Obviously, great to see you back out there, mate. Even if you can't keep your feet and can't pick up a ground ball, it's all good. Yeah. Haven't lost too much on the mound except for a bit of velo and control. What else is there, I guess, hey?
But no, curveball.
Can find a barrel though. Jeez. No, it's good to see, mate. Awesome to have a game with you again. It's been a while. And then just the kids. Saturday, Sunday, kids sport, baseball as well. Just awesome watching them love it as much as what I do. So that's it for me.
That game was pretty hectic. The kids' game got there a bit earlier from fourth grade, and there was hits going everywhere and kids running everywhere. It was good to see.
Yeah, it's far cry from what it was when we were young and, playing under 14 sort of age group. And, you expect any kind of ground ball, double play or, to play to first. And, some of the kids have got that down pat, but too many of them still probably don't have too much idea. So, work in progress.
Progress, mate.
Put my hand up this year to help out, and hopefully I can try to, to help develop those kids anyway. I know myself and our guest from last week, Ninj, having a good look at the Little League team for Toronto. So hopefully, we can really increase that playing level.
Yeah, for sure. Great to see plenty of numbers at fourth and third grade on the weekend as well. I know our first and second grade had a bye. But great to see, club coach down there umpiring as well, and some of the first graders there supporting the lower grades, which is a massive part of the club, like we talked about last week. It was great to be back. I am feeling pretty sore and sorry for myself, that's for sure. And I can definitely say that the mind still knows what it needs to do. The body just can't adapt. It's got nothing.
You do get used to it after a while, mate.
I'll leave it at that. You guys are going to probably roast me later on, I'd imagine.
The mind wants to do it, but the body's like, nah. It's like sitting there, that young catcher in third grade, legs open, you see what sign's putting down. The pitcher hasn't looked at throwing over all day. You think, I could walk to second, but then the body's going, no, we're just staying here.
Yeah.
But he picked off to one person. And who was that person that he picked off to?
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't much of a move though, so you were sweet, mate.
Yeah.
So you should be good to go this week again, Hudson?
Yeah, mate, I'm fresh as. The arm's not sore, it's just the rest of the body.
Well, you've got the starting thirds, mate. I'm not there.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, see how that goes on the weekend.
Not much to follow up from, so you should be doing it easy.
Oh, mate, Boomers will have a good third grade team, so see what they produce.
Yeah, they normally do, mate. So
yeah, I had a bit of a look before they do. So
wouldn't be too bad of a battle with Jay Hudson v Kay O'Brien. So See
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens.
That'll be all right. Seen Mr. Anderson playing as well.
Yes,
Anderson
correct.
and Jordo will be pitching. I think Sam Jordan's pitching, so
Okay.
should be a good little battle, I reckon. But
The big loopies.
yeah,
Big
all right.
loopy spinner.
Enough about our baseball. We've got a guest waiting there, so we're going to get our tidbits on. If you are new to our channel, thanks for joining us tonight. We also like to thank those that come back each week. It is a big part of what we do is you guys following along. So thank you to all those people that have subscribed and give us a rating on the podcast. But we're going to kick us off with our tidbits now. We'll get these out the way to get our guest on. Davo.
Yeah, so first tidbit. I don't know whether he's getting older or managers getting younger, but Zach Greinke has struck out 20% of the active managers in Major League Baseball. So, as I say, he's either getting really old or these managers are getting very young. But I don't know if there'd been a stat like that before, but it's a pretty cool one.
Bit of both,
little from column A, a little from column B.
Yeah.
So, and the second one, good old Bo knows. So, just how good Bo Jackson was in 1989. He had 32 home runs and 105 RBIs playing baseball, and then averaged 5.5 yards per carry in the NFL. So, whether you look at it from a baseball point of view or an NFL fan, both are outstanding numbers, and he did both in the same calendar year. So, we talk about Neon Dion being pretty good as well, the two sports, but there's no one like Bo.
No one. It's crazy, isn't it? Crazy numbers.
And you just think, where would he be if he didn't bust his hip, get that bionic hip going?
Yeah. Here now.
On to me. So we all know the NFL draft run over the weekend. The New England Patriots were the second team in the last 30 years to take a kicker and a punter in the same draft. The other team, the 2000 Oakland Raiders, who drafted a punter and a kicker as well. Where are they now? Nowhere. What do you reckon? It's probably not exactly what the Patriots needed.
Nah. They've obviously got their reasons behind it, Randall, but I have no idea why.
Yeah,
were they banking on signing a high profile quarterback that
possibly
has all of a sudden signed somewhere else?
What were they? They were pretty much down the order in the first round, weren't they? They were 17th pick and they picked a cornerback. So yeah, maybe. Who would know? But you're right. They needed something else.
This one I jumped up today. Like I actually quite like this one because old Nelson Cruz. Who doesn't love old Nelson? At 42 years old and 302 days, he is the second oldest player since 1900 with a 5-hit game. The only person older than him, who else? Pete Rose. 45 years, 119 days. And it was also against the Giants. Did you guys catch much of that series?
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. The day one.
Bomb fest.
Day one. We'll talk about it later, the 15-11. But, yeah,
unreal.
Not a good pitcher's ground, that's for sure.
No, it just goes to show old Nelson Cruz, he's still got it, doesn't he? He's an old battler. His couple of years there at the Orioles, I enjoyed watching him play.
Yeah.
Still producing.
I think he was the one that hit the comebacker too in the day one, wasn't he? That hit Manea in the knee. Crushed it. Absolutely crushed it. So, yeah, no, that was a good series. We'll talk about that a bit more in our baseball later on. What about Shohei Ohtani? Just missed out. He needed a home run to become the first starting pitcher to hit for the cycle, and the ball was caught at the warning track. Pretty amazing effort. We all know, we all go on how good he is, and I guess what he can do. But yeah, that just goes to show you, no one else has done it in the history of the sport. So
should have got the barrel out a bit earlier.
But the amazing fact was he needed the home run. You'd think majority of time it'd be the triple. Especially being a pitcher. But that's how good he is, how quick he is, that he had the triple down. He had that down. So, freak again.
Absolute freak. About this one, the Yankees injured list, 12 players, currently has a payroll of 1.78 million.
117.
117, which is more than 26-man, more than the 26-man rosters of 13 MLB teams. We can see Baltimore on that list there, Randall. That's for sure.
And Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay. Who else in there?
Arizona,
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
there's four teams. There. 2 of those teams already have 20 wins for the year.
Yeah.
Look at the league.
Another one's leading their division, and another one's at almost 680.
There's 3 league leaders in there.
Yep,
really.
Crazy, isn't it?
And in second place.
It's Minnesota. Is it Minnesota in the Central for AL? But you got Arizona, Pittsburgh, Tampa, all leading their divisions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Goes to show you money doesn't always buy the premierships, but
and where's the Yankees coming?
Last in their division. How good is that?
Yes.
We'll also talk about that later because that's been quite a hot topic today on social media, that's for sure. All right, that rounds out our tidbits today. Now, I'm going to bring our guest on, fellas. Fresh out of the green room there. He's just finishing off his salad. I'll let him finish his salad, washing it down with that ice water he left him, Randall. Didn't even leave him a beer. All right.
On the red wine tonight, mate. No beers.
Our guest tonight, Patrick Whymark. Welcome, mate.
Hi, guys. How you going?
Great to have
you.
Nice
to be here. Very good. Yeah, nice to be here.
Mate, Pat's
back at work after a couple of weeks off.
Yeah. Mate, Pat's just come he just competed in the World Transplant Games. Now, Pat, tell us all about what is the World Transplant Games and I guess how you got there.
Okay, so most nations have a national transplant game. So Australia has an Australian Transplant Games every 2 years, and then on the third year, there's usually the World Transplant Games. The last World Transplant Games were held in Manchester in England in 2019. And obviously COVID threw a spanner in the works and sports all over the world. So Perth had the bid to do the World Transplant Games, but it couldn't be held until 2023. So, yeah, we got through COVID and managed to the World Transplant Games went ahead in April this year. And, it's just a wonderful celebration of life, of people that have had all different types of transplants, kidney transplants, liver transplants, double lung transplants, heart transplants, pancreas transplants, and bone marrow transplants. I myself had a bone marrow transplant in 2014. And it's just a wonderful celebration. There was in Perth, there was 1,500 competitors, and in this particular games and in 2019, they've allowed donors and donor families to also participate in the games in their own categories, so to speak.
That's cool.
And competitors range in ages from, I think the youngest competitor he had was 4 years old, and the oldest was over 80. So,
wow.
And
nice.
Combination of sports, of what they call high exertion sports, your things like your swimming and the athletics and cycling and things like that, and low impact sports like bowling and table tennis and, you know, those sort of things, darts and that sort of thing. Yeah.
So I guess what sports did you play, Pat?
Now, I signed up. You're allowed to do at the World Transplant Games. You're allowed to do 5 events. Now, athletics has lots of different events within the track and field. So you can do 5 within track and field, or you can do 5 actual sports. So you could do, you know, 6-a-side soccer. You could do 10-pin bowling, bowls. You know, so it's 5 events. So I elected to do. Originally, I was going to do swimming, shot put and discus. Obviously, I'm a power athlete, so, you know, shot put and discus is sort of my go. So shot put and discus. I was going to do swimming, and I recently, over the last 12 months, I've taken up 10-pin bowling. So I was going to do 10-pin bowling, but I wasn't allowed to swim because they found out I had a bit of a heart condition. So they chucked me in the volleyball team, and I had a blast. So yeah, so I did volleyball on the first day. I did 2 days of 10-pin bowling and 2 days of athletics. So shot put on the first day and rounded it off with discus on the last day, and managed to pick up a couple of bronze medals in those, which was good.
Nice.
That's awesome, mate.
Did you get to play mixed volleyball?
Yeah, we play mixed volleyball. So it's
beautiful.
Yeah, it was all ages. I hadn't played volleyball since high school, so it was a bit of a shock to the system. And when we went to training, the Italians turned up there and they were red hot. We were looking across at them thinking, oh, you know, we're going to get smashed. Well, we did get smashed, but we separated. We managed to have 2 teams, and you got to have a female in each team. But we had, it was really, really touching, actually. In our team, we had father and son combination who both had heart transplants.
Wow.
That was quite touching. And, we managed to beat I was in the B team. We managed to beat the USA team and make it to the bronze medal playoff with the Australian A team, and almost knocked them off. Almost.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was
nice.
good. Yeah.
Now, did you always? Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, and then it was 2 days of 10-pin bowling. I had an actual blast in that. I was never going to beat the top bowlers there, but and then it was back to, you know, what I've been training for was the shot put and the discus. So, but it's like Joel will probably let you know, my background is at powerlifting. I've been powerlifting for about 30 years, and 2014, when I was 52, I was diagnosed with leukemia, and it was a whole bone marrow transplant, and then a whole series of recovery, and sport has really, you know, participating in powerlifting, and that's really helped my recovery. So, yeah.
I think it's also the people you meet at all these different sports that help that too, Pat.
I met some wonderful people. Yeah, wonderful people. And just to think about that, you know, many of the people there at the games would not be alive today if they didn't receive a transplant or a gift of life from someone, whether it be a living donor donating a kidney or bone marrow, or somebody that unfortunately had lost their life and elected to donate their organs, like heart, you know, liver, pancreas, that sort of thing. So it was sort of mentioned there at the opening ceremony and also the closing ceremony that the people there are probably the most grateful people in the world, really, you know, happiest and happy to be alive. You know, there's some wonderful people. That it was just a real buzz. It's actually the best. It was my first World Transplant Games. I'd done the Australian Transplant Games in 2000 16, and that was sort of a dipping the toe in the water for me because I'd only just heard about the transplant games through my through the transplant Arrow Transplant Foundation, and I thought I could give this a go. But I thought it was an elite type of, you had to be a specialist in your particular field. But yeah, once I realised that you could virtually do any, a combination of sports and just get in there and have a go, I thought, well, this is great. So then in 2018, I picked up a couple of extra sports, and then in this one, I thought, yeah, I'll do everything I can. And looking forward to going to Germany in 2 years. So we'll start saving some money for that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, you said you've been in the two. Anything really stand out to you as being such a memorable moment from either of the world ones you've been to, or just meeting great people? Was a particular event? What stood out to you from that you remember most from them?
Some of the stories, particular the family who has all three of the family. So I won't mention names, but the guy's daughter had a heart transplant at a young girl, 3 years old, and then his son had to have a transplant, and then only 2 years earlier, the father had to have a transplant, and they all took part in the transplant games, and he actually completed the 30K bike ride, and he said only 6 weeks before he could barely do 6Ks, and
wow.
He came in, everybody clapped him in, and he got in. You've got to complete in a certain time, and he got in within the time, and to him that was a gold medal. That was great. Another thing stood out where, someone sacrificed their position to, push him over the line. The opening ceremony was incredible. That was something that was, going into Optus Stadium, that was sort of brought tears to the eyes. Yeah, that's probably, those sort of things stood out to me. Sort of got hooked on it. Yeah, there's a picture there of the opening ceremony. Just everybody was proud to be there and represent their country and represent and celebrate life, really.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Can you, I guess, with the awareness towards the organ donation, mate, how does the Transplant Games contribute to that?
Yeah, well, that's a big thing of the Transplant Games, and probably I'm new to the Transplant Games. It's the first Transplant Games were held in 1978.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm new to it because I had my transplant in 2014. So I became aware of it through the transplant community. But really, the Transplant Games is exactly what you say. It's about raising awareness of organ donation. And unfortunately, in Australia, if you go onto iView, there was a program on Compass last night about organ donation. And sadly, there's just not enough donors, not enough people are registering as donors and signing up. I think over in Europe, particularly in Germany, you have to opt out of being a donor rather than opting in. So it does bring awareness to people to say, well, look, here's these people that have given a second chance of life through organ and tissue donation, and they're going on to live a healthy, happy life, taking part in all different types of sports, and that's what the awareness is of organ donation, that when I die, they can, if my body parts are healthy, then rather than rotting in the ground, I'd rather go to someone to give them a chance at life. And And that, I guess that's what the games is all about.
Yeah.
A big slogan. Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of your health, mate, I know you said you got something going on with the heart. Have you been clear of what you had in 2014 since your treatment?
Yeah. So it was probably about 5 years. We're a bit sort of tricky. So after the transplant, obviously with any transplant, that it's your own immune system can reject the host. The host can reject the transplant. So with an organ transplant, you have to be on immunosuppressants for the rest of your life, so that your body doesn't reject the organ. With a bone marrow transplant, is the tricky part is what they call graft versus host disease. So where you can get all different types of side effects from your own immune system fighting against the donor's marrow. I was quite lucky, and I only had a very mild case of graft versus host disease. So I was on immunosuppressants probably for about 3 or 4 years after the transplant. They gradually weaned me off that. And then, after 5 years, pretty much the doctors will say that if you haven't had any relapses or anything like that, you're pretty much cured after 5 years. So,
wow.
Yeah, I just I got back into lifting straight away, and as soon as I was good enough to do that, I've just been onwards and upwards from there. Obviously, I'm getting older, but I can pretty much say I'm 9 years now post transplant. So it's
Awesome, mate.
That's great.
Really good.
Hey, I think probably your health being healthy leading up to it, and your lifestyle with your health and fitness has probably played a big part in that. That you didn't get that too much of what you talked about with the transplant, and lots of people. Yeah.
Look, it's pretty much luck of the draw. I was very lucky where I had a good match. I had what they call a matched unrelated donor. So, and none of when I was told that I had to have a transplant, my two sisters were checked to see whether they'd be a match, and they weren't a match. So then what they look for is a unrelated match. So they go to the Red Cross donor registry to find a match. And with me, they found two. There was one in Germany and one in Western Australia, of all places. So the games were in Western Australia.
Yeah.
And mine was what they call a 10 out of 10 mud match. So I was really lucky that I had a good match, and that helped in the whole grafting process.
Yeah.
Other people are not so lucky. I do know some people that had a transplant at the same time as me, and they're still struggling a little bit, with the health. So, but yeah, okay. I've been quite lucky. I met some people at the games. I met a person at the games that had 2 bone marrow transplants. So the first one was rejected, and so they went for this. They had to have a second bone marrow transplant, and that one took. And so she's going ahead now, quite okay with that. Yeah.
A long process, mate, of I guess recovery and
yeah. And the same thing with organ transplants is that there's obviously you've got to take immunosuppressants for a long time. The rejection is always, the longer you go and without any rejection or any problems, then you're pretty much, you can have a long life with the transplant. Yeah.
Oh, mate. Well, I've seen on a few Facebook pictures today you playing football there. I know you've been into powerlifting for 30 years, and we talked a little bit about cycling before these other boys got on. Any other sports that you played growing up?
Mainly with me, it was surfing. I'm still a surfer. I still like surfing. Got a big paddleboard now. So for me, it was, recreational surfing, but rugby league and rugby union were my two main sports. I played those right up until I was 28, 29. Rugby league and rugby union. Obviously, I got into weightlifting at a young age too, and then I competed in powerlifting in a junior powerlifting competition when I was about 19, and then I got back into rugby league, and then took up powerlifting again. I played American football actually. Yeah, I played American football for a couple of years for Sydney Uni with a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine, is American, and I'd always wanted to have a go at American football, so I joined the Sydney University Lions.
Yep.
And that was good. That was good fun.
I think Sydney University won the comp this year.
Did they? Yeah, they always had a good side. Yeah, we were undefeated right up until the grand final. We played against the Bondi Raiders at Penrith Park in 1990, and the only game we lost was the grand final. We lost by 1 point.
Always the way, isn't it?
Sounds like they're a bit better than the Detroit Lions anyway.
Yeah, that was I had a blast playing gridiron. That was good. Yeah, so rugby league. Sorry,
what
I was
position?
an offensive lineman, so I was a guard, left guard. Yeah, I got picked to play for New South Wales, but I was getting married, so I couldn't play. But
that can wait.
Great game. I'm still an NFL fan.
Who do you follow?
Sorry?
Who do you follow?
Well, you mentioned it before, but I followed the Oakland Raiders, and now it's the LA Raiders, but they haven't made the playoffs for years. So
yeah.
But then again, I followed the West Tigers as well, and they won their first game in.
They let us down every week. Hey, we had a win last week, Pat.
Yeah, they had a win. First win in 8
punishment.
months.
Tigers or Magpies? Were you originally Tigers or Magpies?
Originally Tigers, yeah.
You beauty. The Tigers, go the Balmain Tigers, yeah.
So I did a bit of wrestling as well. I wrestled in for Hornsby Police Boys Club, and I got third in Australia in the 90 kilo division in wrestling. And I've done Taekwondo as well. So I've done a lot of different sports. And then I was mentioning to Joel that I took up cycling when my son was about 8. So I did a bit of track cycling. But powerlifting has been my main sport, and I've competed at a very high level in powerlifting at both the open level and masters.
Are you still involved in powerlifting, mate? Are you still lifting now, or have you? What's your role?
Yeah, at the moment I'm a Category 2 referee, so Category 2 international referee, and I'm the state. I am winding back a bit from my involvement in the whole in that area, but I'm the state referee coordinator. But I am winding back in that role, sort of trying to hand that over to somebody else. And so I'm still involved in the sport, but it's changed a lot since over the years. I mean, I've met some really wonderful friends in powerlifting, especially in the whole Lake Macquarie, Central Coast, Newcastle area where I live. But as Joel will probably attest, the sport has grown exponentially now, and it's huge. That you get 80 to 100 competitors in various competitions. So it's very different to when I used to do it in the early days, where you'd turn up to national championships and you'd pretty much know everybody that was in your division, whereas now it's, the last national championships they had, and it was probably 180 lifters or something like that, So it's changed, and there's a lot more women involved in it now. So it's which is a wonderful thing, There's probably I'd say probably 50% participation, female participation.
I reckon
a lot more juniors too, which is really good. So it's moving ahead in leaps and bounds, and it's not an Olympic sport yet, but we'll see what happens there. Unfortunately, it's a bit different to athletics and that sort of thing, where it's very fragmented. You've got a lot of different organisations so that's probably what holds it back a lot. But as a sport, as a general sport, what's quite good about it is it's low impact. It's low impact in the sense that weightlifting is very sort of hard on your body, whereas powerlifting is more controlled movement. So it's a very good sport for anyone to do, really, to build strength and power and that sort of thing.
Yep. It's amazing how enjoyable it is, actually.
BJ used to come and lift at my gym when we had the gym, Pat, and it's all about the people that you're involved with, isn't it? Like any sport, and powerlifting has that big community vibe. And like you said, you used to go to nationals and know everybody. I was pretty lucky to come into that Lake Macquarie crew and Newcastle crew and get to know a lot of those guys. 10, 12 years ago or whenever it was. And they've been great friends ever since.
Yeah, well, I'm very good friends with Max Bristow. We all know Max Bristow, and he's a legend of the Lake Macquarie area, and he's mentored people in the sport and of both weightlifting and powerlifting, and I've known Max for we go right back to the early 1990s, So and there's still people that have retired, they're sort of long given up the sport, that I'm still in touch with, and so it's
We're gonna have to get
I'm
Max
really enjoying. Sorry,
we're gonna have to get Max on the show. I think I've just got to block a 4
Max
or 5 hour time. I think.
Yeah, if you can, Max struggles with a bit of the technology, but we could coach him through it and get him on there. Yeah,
we could get a 4 or 5 hour episode out of him for sure.
Yeah. Obviously, Max. Yeah.
It's funny, actually. Being a slender sort of gent that I am, not a big lifter. It was funny having my wife and her sister go to an event that Joel was hosting, and my father-in-law turned up, and he actually coached. Max actually coached my father-in-law in powerlifting way back, and he's 60. So, same sort of thing at the Toronto area. So, it was a funny little throwback that just generational, I guess, and it was awesome to see.
Yeah. For sure. All right, fellas, have you got anything else for Pat? Or Pat, would you like to tell us anything more, mate, about the Transplant Games or any information before you go?
Yeah, I guess that the main thing is what we mentioned before, is that the Transplant Games is it's not look, people compete. Obviously, when you go into a sport, you compete to win, but it's not all about elite sport. If you can get what I mean, it's about participation. It's about doing the best you can, and also celebration of life and what we mentioned before. It's awareness of organ donation, and because I guess before I went through what I went through having a transplant, I didn't know anything about the Transplant Games. And I guess that even in Perth, we had banners up everywhere, and people say, "Oh, it's Transplant Games." And I guess that's the main thing, is that it's that look, any one of us could end up having to, unfortunately have an issue where we might need a transplant, and it's about coming out the other side and participating in sport. So, and I'm getting to do stuff that I never thought I would have done. I never thought I'd play volleyball again. It's awesome. Not. If you've seen me, I don't look like a volleyballer.
You could probably squat the volleyball team, though.
Yeah. So, but it's about doing stuff, and I took up 10-pin bowling. I didn't think I'd do that, and so it's great, and I'm looking forward to participation in the Transplant Games for as long as I can.
Yeah, love it, mate.
As you touched on, like just the walking into the arenas, I remember I was lucky enough in 2009 when the World Masters was in Sydney. We put a team together. Like, yes, we weren't competitive. We weren't going to beat a lot of people, but just the thrill of walking into the Olympic Stadium with everyone else there and the whole event is something you remember forever. So it's little things like that, like you touched on, that is what it's all about. And meet great people and friends from it.
Yeah, that's right. I was lucky enough to go to the World Masters Powerlifting Championships in 2007 with Maxi and a few other people, and we had a real great time there. It was a real bonding session, and it was, like you say, it was about the. Yeah, that's what sport's all about, and that's why I've liked, that's why I've been involved in sport, and I do miss. I did realise that after I'd missed team sport a little bit, because the powerlifting is an individual sport, and getting involved in a team sport again was really good. I used to love playing rugby, and that whole team dynamic was great. So. Yeah.
No, definitely miss that myself, mate. And coming back into that team sport, it's a completely different game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Pat. Thanks very much for coming on, mate. I'm going to get some info about the World Transplant Games and leave it in the description here, so people can go and have a look at the info for themselves and check out, I guess, what it's all about. I enjoyed seeing your pictures there on Facebook, mate. It was, and that's exactly how I heard about the World Transplant Games. So it's people like you sharing your story and I guess letting others know that it is out there and you can go and participate. So thanks again for coming on, mate.
Yeah. And well, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come on the show, and go the Tigers and go the Raiders.
Love it, mate. I'm sure I'll see you at a powerlifting event soon. I think there's one on in a couple of weeks up here in Newey. So
I'll be refereeing. I'll be refereeing the state equipped.
Okay.
In Newcastle. Yeah.
I think I'm coming off night shift, so I'll be there a little bit later in the morning. But I'll see you up there, mate. Thanks again, Pat. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Mate.
Thanks, mate.
Bye.
What a legend. Yeah, thank you, Pat, for joining us. We talked about this earlier, fellas. Anytime you can wear the green and gold, what an amazing experience to put the green and gold on and play 5 different sports for country. So
that's it, mate. I'm sure there's 20 million people in Australia that have never actually got that feeling. So
yeah, it's great to see.
Good to spread the word.
Yeah, we'll post it down the comments and stuff below and what it's all about. Righto, we've had a big week in baseball, fellas. We're going to go baseball last again. We had the NFL draft, NRL, NBA finals, the NHL finals. It's been absolutely massive. Let's kick it off with some NRL, Randall. Have you got some, or even Dave? I don't mind.
Yeah.
You blokes
Yeah,
are both
mate,
on
whatever.
the footy.
You could start this week with a massive victory by a team on the weekend.
Oh, just can you let me know who the Tigers beat?
I don't know, mate. Did they play this week? Did they?
Yeah, can you let me
hang
know
on.
who they beat?
I'm pretty sure they beat the Panthers.
Oh, I think I've got a brother that goes to the Penrith Panthers, who also was at our one of our previous sponsors, the Hawkesbury Brewing, on I think it was yesterday.
Yesterday, mate, he was. He had an
I believe they got
8-hour
kicked out.
session.
Yeah,
8-hour session.
lovely.
What a pest. I don't
Let's
know
hear
how he
some of
stayed there
those.
for that long.
Let's hear some of those NRL scores, Randall.
Right, starting it off Thursday night, the Sharks belted the Cowboys 44-6. Friday night broke my heart as usual. There's nothing worse than being beat by the Eels. The Knights beat 43-12 by the Eels. Worst game of the season. Worst game of the season. They must have known
that's why
the
we sent
bye was coming.
messages. We sent messages to
mate.
you. Check on Randall.
Oh, suicide watch for sure. No, I actually picked the Eels. As much as it makes me feel sick, I picked the Eels in the tipping comp, so I knew it was coming, but that was a pretty piss poor performance. Bunnies. Yeah, this was a big one, actually. 32-6 over the Broncos. Did you guys pick that?
I had the Bunnies, but not by that.
Yeah, not by that.
I had the Bunnies too, but not by that. What about the Raiders? 31 over the Dolphins, 30. Fins down. Fins down for the Dolphins. Didn't pick that one.
Raiders at home, they're hard to beat, but I actually backed the Dolphins just because I thought Raiders haven't been playing too well, even though they're at home. The Dolphins been doing it, so
yeah, that's
was it. Cold? Was it cold down there, or
I don't know, mate.
Nothing out of the normal.
I don't think anything out of the normal.
Yeah,
I was at Toronto Diggers, mate, at that time, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
The second biggest upset for the weekend, the Titans 26 over Manly 10.
Yep.
Surely no one picked that.
No, I thought Manly.
It was Manly.
Yeah, it's good to see Manly lose.
It was, wasn't it? But the big upset for the whole weekend, West Tigers getting themselves a win. Hudson, take a bow, champion.
How are the conditions out there at Bathurst?
Oh, it was pissing down.
Yeah.
I hope you're celebrating there, Pat, with those Tigers, mate.
I hope so. Hey, 12-8 over Penrith. Nothing better than that, is it? Beating the competition favourites, I guess.
And they played well. I watched most of that game, and the Tigers surprisingly played well. They handled the conditions better than the Panthers. So, tip the cap to them.
Bloody oath. Good on them. Good on them. Did Luke Brooks score a try? No. Lucky because no team has won the comp when Luke Brooks has scored a try against them. So Panthers, they can still win the comp.
Wow. What a stat. It's been changing every week, hasn't it?
It has, mate. It has. Roosters 14 over the Warriors 0. It was actually a pretty good game to watch. Over there in New Zealand, it was pretty wet. But not a bad game. And then Davo.
What about the result of the last game, eh?
Yeah, Davo, you're spruiking already, mate. The Dogs 18 over the Dragons 16. Your dirty Dogs got a win, mate.
They did. And brother, if you're listening, mate, I'm surprised I didn't ring you. I was tempted to ring you Sunday night just to ask how those Dragons went, but I'll let him know about it next time I see him.
You should have given him a call.
Yes, awesome. And then this week coming up, guys, a Magic Round. Everyone loves it. Everyone thinks it's great. I think it's a load of shit, but anyway, all games being played at Suncorp Stadium. Mate, on the weekend, we had Brisbane played the Bunnies at Suncorp Stadium on Friday night. The ground was already chopped to shit.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a full round up there this weekend, playing on Suncorp Stadium. That ground is going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest crop ever. Anyway, it is what it is. Notable games for the weekend, probably Warriors and Panthers. 7th versus 8th. That'll be a good game. Manly and the Broncos, not a bad game to watch. Cronulla versus the Dolphins.
Knights will
Storm
get
versus
2 points, mate.
the Knights will get 2 points. They've finally got the bye. Thank God for that. Storm versus Rabbitohs. What else are you looking at? Oh, the Tigers. Tigers could get another win here. They've got the Dragons.
Oof.
What do you think, Hudson?
Mate, if they played anything like last week, mate, they should go right. I hope it flogs down up there like it did in Bathurst.
I hope so too. That's what they got going for them.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, mate, we'll see what happens this weekend.
Well, one of the best things from the last weekend in the footy was Nico Hines, the Sharks versus Cowboys. They now have what they call the Paul Green medal. So because Paul Green played for both teams, unfortunately took his own life, so they've now made a medal for the best player on field when they play each other. After the game, so Nico Hines won it. After the game in the sheds, he turned around, gave the medal to Paul Green's son and his playing jersey to Paul Green's daughter. So what an awesome effort by him to sort of show what it's really about. So I just thought that was a great moment from the weekend.
It shows the type of person he is, doesn't it? Like he's a class act guy. He always has been. So yeah, well done by him.
He's now calling for a mental health round.
Yep.
He said, look, we have rounds for everything else. He's saying 1 in 5 men suffer from some kind of mental health. So why can't we make it around, make it happen?
Yeah.
So he's really pushing for a call to make a mental health round. And why not?
Why not? I agree with that. Our guest next week will actually be talking about mental health and men's health. So that'll be a good one. So make sure you tune in next week for that. What else we got, Randall? That's it?
That's it, mate.
That's it.
Big week of footy, Magic Round.
What about the other type of footy? The one we were talking about with Pat, the NFL. The NFL draft was on during the week. You guys caught a little bit of it, filling me in with a few different bits and pieces, but any big standouts for you? Bryce Young was number 1 pick. He went to the Carolina Panthers, and that was sort of a pretty set in stone sort of pick. But was there any picks that you guys enjoyed or thought that may have gone earlier or later?
No, I didn't really know a lot of the guys in it this year. So for us this year, it was sort of not much of an event for us. I did watch some of it to see who was doing what, but no, nothing really for us.
It's probably only old mate that's got a million memes now going around that didn't go until second round. Other than that, to be honest, it probably went pretty as expected, didn't it?
Yeah. The big one for me was when, I guess, Houston Texans had the number 2 pick, and they did some trading to get the number 3 pick as well.
Yeah.
So they got the CJ Stroud, the quarterback, but also Will Anderson Jr., which
probably the best defensive person on the board.
What was that? Sorry, mate.
Probably the best on the board. Do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was. I personally don't like seeing the draft picks getting traded away and things like that, because obviously they're what you're trying to bleed through for the rest of your sort of squad. So to see that the Houston Texans getting second and third pick was pretty cool for them. I don't really see too much else other than there was what was there, 5 quarterbacks? Well, let me have a look. There was 5 quarterbacks in the first 10, and then no other quarterbacks for a long time. So it's pretty cool to see that. That's not really that stand unless you've got that standout quarterback that goes early, and then usually they sort of trickle away. But to have that many quarterbacks in the top 10 is pretty cool to see. So another one went to the Texans, Panthers, Indianapolis Colts. Where else did they go? I'm flicking down through here now. I can't remember where the other ones were, but obviously we're going to be looking out for those in the next coming years, and for those that collect their playing cards, getting some new rookies is always exciting, especially when there's that many quarterbacks as in the top 20.
The big thing for me at NFL over the week was come on, the Ravens. You guys haven't even talked about it. Please.
Yeah.
Nothing worth talking about, is he?
I know we talked about him last week, didn't we?
No, it didn't happen till after, I'm sure.
Oh, didn't it? I must have been one of the sports. I must have put it on the shorts. That's right. 200. What was it? 260 mil.
Yeah.
185 guaranteed.
185 guaranteed for 3 years, and then whatever happens after that. But finally, the Ravens and Lamar come to agreement. So
for him to play 3 games a year.
Yeah, but he went back on his word, didn't he? What does it say about him? He went back on his word. He didn't get. All he wanted was his fully guaranteed contract, and he went back on it. And he took 3 years fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
So.
Oh well, good luck to him. Highest paid NFL player contract ever, and
I think he might have realised that no one was going to give him that big money guaranteed for 5 years.
Yeah.
He has to go and prove himself. In 3 years' time, if he comes out there and has 3 full seasons and does something in an off season, postseason comes around and he does well.
Yeah.
Someone will throw money at him, but got to prove himself.
See how he goes with the other signing.
Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, Junior. Yeah. See how he goes.
Yeah, Tay Flowers was their draft pick, so they got receivers. So we'll see what happens, eh?
Yep, it'd be interesting.
No excuses now.
Nope, not at all. All right, so NHL, the biggest one here is 2 weeks ago we were telling everybody how good Boston Bruins were. They won 1 million games in a row, 1 million games for the season. They broke the record this year with most wins for the season, and they're out of the playoffs first round. So that was massive.
Ewing.
Yeah, so the Panthers knocked them out in a round of 7. So game 7, they're Gornskis.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Who's your pick now then?
I got no idea. No idea.
But, who do you like?
Mate, I'm hoping for these guys. How about them? The Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Maple Leafs.
Yep.
Won their first playoff series since 2014.
2004.
2004. My bad. Can't read.
That goes
it'd be
with
cool to see them go through.
That goes the same with the Kraken. The Kraken were the first expansion team to win a playoff series as well. So they've done well. So, but for us, the Rangers, game 7 against the neighbours, the New Jersey tomorrow.
New Jersey Devils.
See
how that goes.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. What about the NBA? I didn't catch much of the NBA. I know the Golden State Warriors won today, game 7. That was about it for me.
A lazy 50 points by Steph Curry.
Yeah, killed it.
Doing it tough.
So they now play the Lakers, I think, don't they?
They do. That'll be a good series. I can't wait to see a little bit of that. Obviously,
like the NHL, the Bucks had a great season, a really good season, and lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Heat.
Yeah.
So is that a sign for things to come for sporting teams this year?
You just got to get there, don't you?
Yeah.
We all talk about, getting to those playoffs, and once you're there, it's a completely different game. You got to step up and know how to win, don't you?
Yep.
100%.
And we talk about this all the time, but those Belmont baseballers, whenever they get to the playoffs, they know how to, get the job done. So, and that's what it's all about. So,
But
doesn't matter what's happened all year. They just turn up on the day and
yep,
know how to win.
absolutely do.
knowing the NBA, they've probably still got about 6 rounds of playoffs to go, don't they?
Oh, mate, they'll be over
Probably.
in January or something like that, I'd say.
Yeah.
We've got a few different sports bits here coming up before we kick right over to fully baseball. This one for you, Randall. I know you're a big fan. Come on, mate. Renee Gracie in the OnlyFans car. So the OnlyFans car, she's jumped back into a race car. Apparently, she used to race cars 5 years ago, and jumped back in. And she's sporting the OnlyFans car, and they're giving her a fair bit of stick because she's come 15th and 16th in the two races, I guess. But mate, got to be in it to win it. Good on her for advertising what she does, and good luck to her.
Yeah, maybe she raced before all that stuff happened, before the OnlyFans thing.
Couple of Bathurst.
That was a full-time job racing, and she found another avenue where she could make good money. And as we all know, what's happened with OnlyFans, it's some massive lucrative business.
Yeah.
So why not? She's made massive money there, and they're going to sponsor her car, and she can go back and race again.
Yeah, it's afforded her the life she's got, and now 100%. The chance to go back and drive. So
that's right. If that's what she wants to do
for her.
If she wants to get her stuff out and whatever, and people want to pay to see that stuff, then good on her.
Yep. We're going to leave a link down below to Randall's OnlyFans if anyone wants to see Randall. There's plenty of footage apparently at Waterboard Oval.
Anyone's got a foot fetish, they can look at my photos of my feet. No worries.
Stop it.
Or hand fetishes, love get my hands out. Sometimes, hand model for gloves.
Oh yeah, watches as well. Watches.
Yeah, watches.
Yeah. Mate, good on her. Good luck. What about this one? Bryce Harper could be back in as of Tuesday. Well, mate,
awesome.
I hope we see it because the Phillies are struggling without him.
Yes, they are. Just to get his back in that lineup.
I was going to say, what do you think his role will be?
Yeah. DH, I suppose.
Team leader.
At the moment. Yeah.
Team leader is the massive one, Davo.
Doesn't matter what he's doing. Just being in uniform in the dugout is just going to lift those guys.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The Phillies are struggling and they need him back. Next one. What about this? How good is it?
Oh, it's awesome.
William Hendricks.
So good.
Mate, he's back. We hope to see him back soon. He's beaten cancer and he's back throwing already. Mate, it would be great to see him back real soon because they also need him. The White Sox need him as well.
I think he's got they've already penciled in a date for a rehab assignment in the minors?
I don't know, mate.
Imagine the standing O he's going to get first home game back.
Well, the White Sox are 8-21, so
it'll be like a Trey. It'll be like Trey Mancini a couple of years ago, won't it?
Yeah, it will
when he came back, and mate, he'll cop it. It'll be great. He'll love it. He'll thrive on that.
Might be an injection the Sox need, as you said.
Yep.
Can't wait to see him back. Absolute legend in the sport. And we talked on this one earlier, fellas.
Oh.
It was a great series. I absolutely loved it. As a pitcher, you would not have loved it. I don't know how many pitches they went through on that day, on that game one, but yeah, run us through this. Someone run us through. It's just crazy.
So, the first ever game in Mexico City. So, just from the first game, this isn't the two games. This is game one. The teams combined for 27 runs, 30 hits, 11 home runs, 72 total bases, 4 instances of back-to-back homers. And
unreal.
But I think, what was it? Coors Field is like
4,000.
5,000, yeah,
4 or
5,000
5,000.
feet above sea. That field was what, 6,000 or 7,000 feet above sea level.
7,200 feet or something.
Yeah,
Something stupid. It's over 7,000 feet.
yeah.
Crazy.
So no wonder the ball flew.
I couldn't figure it out. So, I watched it as a replay on ESPN at home, and I was just watching this pop up to left field, and it just kept going and going and going and going. As ball's gone, and even the commentators are like, we'll just show a replay, and you see this off the bat, and that is just a straight pop up.
Yeah.
Now over the fence, gone.
You also seen the line drives just go like absolute tracer bullets.
Yeah.
There's one Jock Peterson on. It was just a laser bullet. Like it was
the old frozen rope just did not deviate. Just over the fence.
There was even someone hit ground rule double, and it's just like it was a one bouncer, and not up or down. He just went. So pitcher's nightmare, that field.
2 pitches today threw really well. You, Darvish, and Cobb. I think they both went through about 5 innings each before they were both relieved, and it was a closer game today, 6-4. It should have been a lot closer. Could have been 4-all. I think it was in the 8th when Yaz dove for a catch and come up short and did his hemi. So not good for him, but yeah, if he sort of grabbed hold of it, 4-all and game on. But plenty of pitches used over the last 2 days. I think they both got a day off tomorrow, travel day, I think. So they're going to need it. Yeah, there was lots of pitches used, but yeah, great to see.
I think I did see something on the socials, a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, where they were saying, if teams are playing in Mexico City, the stats shouldn't go against their actual season stats. It's just too unfair. Poor old pitchers are just getting hammered. ERAs are getting blown out. Poor buggers.
That's like I'm saying last year. I'd like to see Judge go to play at Colorado more, or same sort of thing, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Well, one of the things we could have used as a tidbit was Xander Bogaerts is now the first man to home run in 4 different countries. So he's done USA, he's done Canada, he did England when did the Boston versus Yankees, and now Mexico. So in regular season play, first man to home run in 4 different countries.
Crazy.
Awesome.
Crazy. Massive stat, isn't it?
Let's make it more. Let's make it more countries.
Oh, I'd love to see him go. Like, they went to Japan as well this year, didn't they? Did they go to Japan early this year? Or was that last year?
Nah.
No. Oh, I thought they might have went this year. I reckon they've got to go to places like that, Japan, Korea, all those different places as well. It would be awesome to see. And come back to Australia. Come back to Oz. That was
a great series at the SCG to go and watch.
Yeah. Didn't get there, Davo.
Never.
Terrible. But anyway. Right, let's move on to some local baseball. Before we go on to local baseball, just want to bring you guys this. I guess I've been tagged in this a few times today, so I'll share it with you guys.
Well, you need some sprint training, mate.
Sprint training Thursday, May 11th, 5:45 to 6:30 at Plattsburgh. Open to all players registered within the Newcastle Baseball Association. So that's juniors and everything. So if you want to be involved, or you've got kids that want to be involved, make it known. And
that is a qualified sprint coach too. Yeah. So it's not just me turning up and telling everyone how to run.
Oh, that's good.
Sprint coach is when the barman yells last shout, isn't it?
Usually, yes. Yeah, it did come up on Saturday night.
Jeez. It's great that I guess the Newcastle Baseball's putting that on. Great part. I guess it's a big part of the sport is sprinting and you got to learn different drills, I guess, and different ways to improve your speed. So get out there and support that because the Newcastle Baseball is trying to progress everyone in the sport. Now, let's talk about third and fourth grade for Toronto Tigers. Why it's hot in your mind. What was the score in fourth grade, Randall? Was it 9-4?
8-4, I think, mate. 8-4.
Yeah, right. My bad.
It was 8-0 until you come on, but anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think it was, but you know.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I was out of the game by then, mate. They already done a hammy.
Done a hammy. That was a good game there. Ninja pitched well, and our bats did the talking early. Davo, what was the third grade score? You guys won pretty easy, didn't you?
10-0.
10-0, mate. Yep.
10-0.
So it was a tight game early. I think it was only 3-0 after 4 digs.
Yeah.
And then we just piled the runs on in the last couple of digs.
Yeah.
But held them out, which was good. So
great to see. Hey, what was the Triton Cup that I seen on Instagram?
Yeah. So with all the grade divisions that we have, so we have first and second grade play in a group together, third and fourth grade, and then fifth and sixth grade. So each division have a cup. At the start of the season, it's drawn out of a hat on who holds the cup round one. And then each week it's you play for that cup. So it's a week-to-week basically sort of thing. So speaking third and fourth grade, we got it week 1. So week 2, third and fourth grade, we play against. If Toronto win week for fourth grade and third grade that same week, we get the cup. If our opposition win both grades, they get the cup. If we win one, they win one of the 2 grades. It goes for and against for the total day, and you get the cup. Come last round, whoever maintains the cup at the end of the year, they get I think first and second grades of maybe $500 from the association. Third and fourth grade might be $400 and $300 for fifth and sixth grade. So it's basically just a week-to-week trophy that anyone can win at any stage of the year, and you hold it until you lose.
Yep. Oh, cool initiative.
So, yeah, it's from our major sponsors this year. So Triton Signs.
Yep.
They sponsor all that, and yeah, the cup's sitting in the canteen, mate, for third and fourth grade. If you want to have a look, little gold cup.
Drink out of it.
We drink out of it every week. It's all good. Didn't you have a drink last week? Oh, that's right. You're off the drink. Sorry.
Come, mate. I had a beer.
That's only because you had to. It's only because you had to shout the beers for being the first and third out in one inning.
Yeah. Well,
could even say technically you were the first, second, third out. Actually,
I wouldn't have been the. Mate, I wouldn't have been the third out if that bloke didn't send me. Jeez. Come on.
Mate. If you had been any faster, like you thought you were, you should have scored.
Mate, but, I didn't go fast. I was pulling up.
What was higher on the weekend, mate? Your batting average or the ERA?
Sure. Actually, I don't know if any of those were mine, were they?
I don't know.
I don't know. We need Toronto to update the website so we can find these things out.
I had 2 runners on when I hopped on, didn't I? And I hopped on the mound.
I didn't even know you were on. We'll put it that way. I came back to the dugout and Ninja was sitting there and I said, "Oh, are you out of the game?" He said, "Oh, yeah, Hutto's throwing." Oh,
gold.
I wondered.
We do have video footage of it though.
Check out the socials.
Yeah, mate, I forgot to put it onto the stream.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll get it on there.
Basically,
check out the stream.
I swung and missed that one probably about this high, and all I could hear was on the video was about 8 blokes that were in the dugout going, "Hey, hey!" Yeah,
that wasn't just our dugout; that was theirs too.
and then
Yeah.
I popped up. So, yeah. Anyway, I didn't get struck out, Davo, so that was a big win.
That's
big
good.
win.
Did you strike anyone out though?
Yeah, I got 2 of them.
Nice.
One of them made it to first. Come on, Gork, you got to catch those spinners, mate.
Don't even go there.
Come on, mate. Yeah, that was a good game, fellas. I really enjoyed being back. Let's talk about some of the other results in the competition. So, first grade, Boomerangs got beat by Belmont 4-1. And the White Sox got defeated by Phoenix Charlestown 6-4.
Wow.
Let's have a look at that. Now, that one,
Wow.
that was definitely one that we didn't pick. That's for sure. And I guess it was really good to see that White Sox had the game up again. They had the live stream up, and it was a really good quality. But this one, the Phoenix Charlestown, mate, let's have a look at some of the pitching here. So Jackson Frame, obviously going really well.
Yeah, he is, mate. Good young kid, mate.
Yeah.
Little lefty. Really nice move to first too. So only get a one-step lead on that kid.
Yeah, he did well, and looks like
40?
Josh Bonello come on and hurled a few over in first grade. So
Jesus.
that's also good to see.
Yeah. What's that all about?
So that was good. Cal Davies through 49, Dimmers 21, and Sam Winpenny through 74 pitches. No other stats available on the NBA website, but I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come.
Bonnie. Jeez.
Yeah. Our first grade Toronto Tigers had the bye. They'll be back in action next week. Apart from that, fellas, that's about all for you.
They want to pick their game up, the old Tigers.
Yeah. Oh, mate. They had a lot.
Last week wasn't good enough.
That's it. They had a loss. Move on. They'll hit. Just got to get some at-bats in and go again.
Yeah. Talking to Cambo on Saturday, like he said, that game, it's sort of felt a bit worse than the first game. It's sort of like they had the first game, then sort of like a week off, and they just felt the rust from that week off rather than whole off season. So he put it down. It's just one of those days where things didn't work, and they've learned from that, and they're going to build and be better for it. So
yeah,
put it behind us and move on.
They're a team where that sort of thing doesn't faze them, mate. You know,
no.
You got to have you can't win every game. They know that they've all played a lot of baseball. They've all played at some higher levels.
Yeah,
you know, and that'll be the way that it is. Like they'll be week in, week out. It'll be a different team, and that'll be sweet.
Yeah,
they're not too worried, mate. You know what? That team can finish last, and you know what? They still won't care. They'll still put shit on each other. They'll still drink beers, and they'll still party. Doesn't matter. They just want to hang around together. They want to be together.
Sounds like the rest of the club.
Yeah. Hard to take, isn't it?
Terrible, mate. Terrible. All right, I'm going to round out. Let's round out the MLB. I guess who's hot, who's not. The biggest one for us in ALL East is the New York Yankees, sitting at the bottom, 15 wins, 14 losses, but they are sitting below Boston on the list there. Davo, I'm really happy with that, mate.
Got a lot for and against.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably our biggest one that we're all talking about the most is
well, besides the leader of the NL Central, Pirates are first at Pirates 20 wins.
That
so
too.
For them to be first.
We have been talking about that. I'm going to have to give Randall's Baltimore a bit of a plug there. 19-9, sitting second, 3.5 games back. We will get down to definitely down there. Davo to the Pirates. Minnesota 17-12, Cleveland 13-5, Texas 17-11, Houston 15-13. Come on, you Angels, 15-14.
And lost DeGrom as well, the Rangers.
Yeah.
Massive. And especially if you've got him as your gun in your fantasy league team and you can't get rid of him. You can't even put him on the injured list because he's your number one pick. Brutal. Atlanta.
You can, mate, but someone might just jump all over it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. No, you can't. I can't move him, Randall. 18-9, Atlanta, and the Mets 15-12. The Mets have been a little bit of a surprise for me still. They're still laying back there.
Look at the Marlins there, 16-13.
Yeah.
Yep. They're going all right.
Phillies still disappointed. They need Harper.
They do. Hopefully he's back. The reports say he will be, so hopefully that's the case. Tell me about these Pittsburgh Pirates. How good are they?
Oh, unreal.
So watching that, they're playing Tampa, coming series. They're 20-9, absolutely crushing it. I hope to see them rise through for the rest of the season. So yeah, they're over the top of Milwaukee. So Milwaukee 1.5 games.
How good was it with Drew Maggi though? Getting his hit, we all saw that. He got 2. Getting 2. So
couple RBIs.
He's been DFA'd back down to the minors with a career batting average in the MLB of 333. Thanks for coming.
I hope he gets another run.
Me too.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool that he got a shot though after that time. I mean that's a long slog in the minors, but yeah, and down the NL West, Arizona 16-13, the Dodgers are 16-13, San Diego 15-14, San Francisco 11-16 with a 3-loss streak after their 5-game winning streak. So
I know it sucks for you, Hutto, mate, being a Giants fan, but it is so good to see the Snakes up there.
Yeah.
For the moment.
It's just...
You see, their run differential's not that good though, so they've got to work on that. What I think I just saw, it's like +7 or something. Now, when you got other teams that are +40, +50 sort of thing, they're still hanging in, but I think they need to do a bit of work because here come those pesky Dodgers.
Yeah, but as long as the Dodgers and the Padres aren't at the top of the table, I just don't care.
Yeah,
a win's a win. You win by 1, it doesn't matter. It's still a win.
Yeah,
just keep those wins. But you're right, Dave. That run differential really needs to help. Really needs to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, been a good week in sport, fellas. If you're still with us, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to the audio only, give us a rating. I don't care if it's a 1-star rating because I've got a batting average of 0 and these other boys got hits on the weekend, whatever it might be. But no, it's really important to us that you, I guess, give us some feedback and whatever it may be on Facebook or wherever you find us. But thanks again, fellas. Have a good week.
Sorry?
How many hits did you get, sorry?
2 for 2 and hit by pitch.
Oh. And then you got dragged.
Yep.
Yeah.
After bench run in the 9-hole.
Ads have said they hit you on purpose as well, so that's even better. Yeah, no, he said he didn't want him to go 3 from 3, so
I thought it might have been the 6 shutout innings against him.
No, nothing to do with that, mate. No, nothing to do with that. All right, fellas, been a pleasure. We'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds good.
Awesome.